Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going deep, really deep, into the neurology of migraine, and we're going to completely reframe the idea that it's just a bad headache.
You know, that's exactly the right way to think about it. Because migraine isn't simply a type of headache, no. It's a complex, multi-stage neurological event. And the pain, it's just one part of the story. A very loud part for sure, but still just one part.
Even the official definition gives us some clues. See how it's called a disorder with associated symptoms? Right there, it's telling us that the headache is the main event, but it definitely doesn't show up to the party alone. And this is a huge global health issue. Get this, it affects women 3 times more often than men. And that's not random. That number points us directly to a key biological factor, the really powerful influence that estrogen fluctuations have on the brain.
So, to really get what a migraine is, you have to see it as a journey. An attack isn't just one moment of pain. It's more like a story told in up to 4 distinct acts. And the most fascinating part? It doesn't even start with the headache. This timeline really puts it into perspective, right? A single migraine can stretch out over days, from the very first subtle whisper that something's off to that final feeling of just being completely wiped out. So let's break down each of these phases. Okay, so the story starts with the prodrome. Think of these as little warning signs that can pop up a day or even 2 before any pain hits. What's happening is that the hypothalamus, your brain's master control center for stuff like sleep and appetite, is starting to act up. So what does that actually feel like? Well, it could be yawning when you're not tired, feeling irritable for no reason, suddenly craving specific foods, or getting a stiff neck. These aren't just random feelings. They are direct signals from your brain that the migraine cascade has officially kicked off. Now, for about 1/3 of people with migraine, the next phase is the aura. This is a temporary and thankfully completely reversible neurological event. It isn't the pain itself, but a really strange sensory disturbance that comes first. And the symptoms of aura are so specific. People describe seeing flashing lights or these shimmering zigzag lines. They're actually called fortification spectra, or they might get blind spots, known as a scotoma. This isn't your eyes playing tricks on you. It's the direct result of an electrical wave sweeping across your brain. We'll get back to that in a bit.
And now we get to the phase everyone knows, the attack, the headache. This is the main event, and honestly, it can be just debilitating. We're talking anywhere from 4 hours to 3 very long days.
These right here are the classic signs. The pain is usually on one side of the head, it throbs, and it's bad enough to stop you in your tracks. Just walking around can make it worse. And then there's the nausea and that extreme sensitivity to light and sound. It's like the world is turned up to 11. But believe it or not, the story isn't over when the pain stops. After that storm passes, the final phase begins, the postdrome. You might know it by its more common name, the migraine hangover. This is when you feel utterly exhausted, you can't think straight, and you just have this washed-out feeling. This isn't just you being tired from the pain, it's a real physiological state. Your brain's neurotransmitters are depleted and its activity is still kind of suppressed. So what is actually going on in the brain to create this whole 4-act drama? Okay, let's dive into the incredible science behind all this. Remember that aura we talked about? Well, it's caused by something called cortical spreading depression, or CSD. Just picture a slow-moving electrical wave crawling across the surface of your brain. As this wave of super intense activity passes, it leaves behind this quiet zone of suppressed activity. That wave is what you're literally seeing when the visual aura spreads across your vision. Okay, now for the pain. The actual hardware for a headache is the trigeminovascular system. It's basically a network of nerve fibers, the trigeminal nerve, that are wrapped all around the blood vessels and the protective layers covering your brain. When that system gets switched on, you feel pain, period. So here's the crucial part. It's all a chain reaction. That electrical wave, the CSD, causes the release of inflammatory chemicals. Those chemicals then flip the switch on the trigeminovascular system. In response, those nerves release a key chemical messenger called CGRP. And CGRP is the real troublemaker. It causes blood vessels to swell up and get inflamed, and that inflammation is what generates the intense pain of the attack.
Almost everyone with a migraine describes the pain as throbbing or pulsating. And that's not just a feeling, you know? It's a direct reflection of a very specific process happening inside your head.
And this explains it perfectly. Let me translate. That CGRP chemical has caused the arteries around your brain to widen.
Now, those swollen arteries are pulsing with every single beat of your heart. And each time they pulse, they physically push on those now super sensitive pain nerves, firing off a new pain signal. Pulse, pain, pulse, pain. That is the throb. It's your own heartbeat weaponized by inflammation.
And this is exactly why digging into the science is so important, because once you understand the exact chain of events, you can start to figure out where to break the chain. By mapping out this whole neurological storm so meticulously, scientists have been able to develop incredibly targeted therapies. We're not just trying to numb the pain anymore, we're actually stepping in and interrupting the biological process that causes it in the first place. So, for example, once they figured out that CGRP was the key culprit, boom, a whole new class of drugs was invented to block it. Understanding that the widening blood vessels were a big problem led to drugs called triptans, which help shrink them back down. This is science translating directly into real relief for people. So you can see the whole perspective has just shifted completely. We've gone from thinking it was just a blood vessel problem to knowing it's a complex brain disorder, from seeing pain as the whole story to understanding it's just one chapter in a 4-part saga. It completely reframes it from just a bad headache to what it really is, a truly disabling neurological condition.
And that leaves us with a much bigger question, doesn't it? When we recognize that something like a migraine involves everything from the brain's cortex to its deep control centers, it forces us to think way more holistically about our brain health in general. It's a powerful reminder that what we feel on the surface is often just the final result of an incredibly complex, invisible process happening deep inside our own heads.